Let me tell you something most people don't understand about men. Men don't cry easy. We don't fall apart over words. We don't break down over drama. But when a man misses you so deeply that it brings tears to his eyes, it's because you touch something sacred inside him. You don't make a man cry by begging him to stay. You don't make him cry by chasing, explaining, or proving your worth. A man cries missing you when you leave with dignity, when you walk away peacefully, but your absence is loud. See, men are built to handle pressure. What we are not built to handle is the silence of something good that we lost by our own mistakes. You make a man cry when you were his peace, not his problem. When being with you felt like home, not like war. When you believed in him before he believed in himself. When you saw his potential even when he was still confused. A man cries missing you when he realizes you were rare. You didn't try to control him. You didn't drain him. You didn't compete with his ego. You supported his dreams quietly and loved him loudly. Men don't talk about the moments that break them. They carry them quietly, wrapped in pride, distraction, and the daily noise of life. On the outside, everything looks normal. He laughs, he works, he moves forward. But missing someone doesn't announce itself loudly for a man. It creeps in slowly. In between responsibilities, in the silence he avoids. And when it finally hits, it doesn't ask for permission. A man doesn't miss a woman because she was loud or dramatic or constantly demanding his attention. He misses her because she made his world feel lighter without asking him to explain himself. She didn't need him to perform. She didn't treat love like a transaction. She showed up with calm, with patience, with understanding, and that kind of presence settles deep in a man's spirit before he even realizes it. What hurts him later is not the breakup itself, but the way she left. No chaos, no begging, no long speeches, trying to change his mind. She walked away with self-respect, and that silence stays louder than any argument ever could. At first, he mistakes it for relief. He tells himself he needed space, freedom, control. He convinces himself he's fine. Men are very good at lying to themselves when their ego is involved. But time has a way of stripping, lies down to the truth. When the excitement fades and distractions stop working, that's when the absence becomes real. He starts remembering small things he once overlooked. The way she listened without interrupting. The way she believed in him when his own confidence was shaky. The way she made him feel capable instead of criticized. Those memories don't attack him all at once. They arrive slowly, patiently, until they sit with him whether he wants them to or not. A man begins to miss a woman deeply when he realizes she was his peace. Not perfect, not flawless, but safe. With her, he didn't have to defend himself from the world. He could breathe. And now, without her, everything feels louder. Conversations feel empty. Success feels incomplete. Even laughter feels like it's missing something important. Late at night is when it gets dangerous. When the phone is quiet. When there's no one to impress. When he scrolls past old messages or hears a song that reminds him of a moment he didn't appreciate enough. That's when regret slips in. Not the dramatic kind, but the heavy kind that sits on the chest. He starts replaying moments he should have handled better, words he should have said, effort he should have shown sooner. He tells himself he can replace her. Men often believe that at first, but replacement doesn't work when the loss wasn't about beauty or attention. You can't replace someone who made you feel understood. You can't recreate the way someone saw you clearly and still chose you. That realization humbles him. It cracks the armor he's been wearing. Missing her becomes emotional when he understands that she didn't leave because she stopped loving him. She left because she loved herself enough to stop accepting less. That truth is hard to swallow. It forces him to face his own role in losing her. And when a man finally accepts responsibility, the tears don't come from weakness. They come from awareness. That's how you make a man cry missing you. Not by staying too long, not by breaking yourself to be loved, but by being genuine, supportive, and strong enough to walk away when your value isn't protected. Because a man may not cry when you leave, but he will cry when he understands what your presence truly meant. A man can go a long time without realizing what he's lost. That's the truth most people don't like to admit. In the beginning, separation feels manageable to him. He fills his days with movement, distractions, noise, and surface-level conversation. He convinces himself that letting go was necessary, that life goes on, that emotions can be controlled if they're ignored long enough. Men are taught to survive, not to sit with feeling, and that lesson comes back to haunt them later. What he doesn't understand at first is that missing someone isn't about time apart. It's about the space they occupied in his life. She wasn't just someone he talked to. She was the place his mind went to rest. She was the voice that softened his stress, the presence that didn't demand explanations, the energy that didn't compete with his pride. While she was there, he didn't notice how much she was holding together for him. When she leaves quietly, without turning the moment into a battlefield, it confuses him. There's no argument to replay, no villain to blame. Just distance. And distance gives a man room to think, which is the one thing he avoids when his emotions aren't under control. At first, he enjoys the freedom. He tells himself he can do whatever he wants now. But freedom without connection starts to feel empty faster than he expected. He begins to notice the difference in how the world treats him. Conversations feel shorter. Support feels conditional. People listen, but they don't hear him. That's when memories of her start showing up uninvited. Not the big moments, but the small ones. The way she noticed his moods. The way she stayed patient when he pulled back. The way she believed in his future even when he was unsure of himself. A man cries missing a woman when he realizes she saw him clearly and still chose him. That kind of acceptance is rare, and it doesn't hit him until it's gone. He remembers how safe he felt being imperfect around her, how he didn't have to prove his worth every day. And now without that safety, he feels exposed, even in rooms full of people. The nights stretch longer. Silence becomes heavier. He catches himself reaching for his phone, then stopping, because he knows he no longer has the right to her attention. That realization stings. It humbles him. He starts questioning his decisions, his timing, his effort. He wonders why he didn't show up more consistently when he had the chance. Pride keeps him from admitting it out loud, but internally something breaks. He understands that not every woman offers peace. Not every woman supports growth without controlling it. And not every love gives without trying to take something in return. He thought he had time. He thought she'd wait. He thought wrong. Missing her turns into grief when he accepts that she didn't leave to punish him. She left to protect herself. That understanding changes everything. Because now the loss feels deserved, and deserved loss hurts deeper. Tears come not from loneliness alone, but from self-awareness, from knowing that something real slipped away because he didn't recognize its value in time. That's when a man finally feels it fully, quietly, honestly. The weight of missing someone who loved him well and walked away with grace. A man rarely admits how much he misses someone until the quiet forces him to. During the day, he keeps himself busy, pretending he's unaffected, filling every moment with work, responsibilities, or distraction. He tells himself he's fine, that he doesn't need anyone, that being alone is freedom. But the truth hides in the corners of his mind, in the silence between tasks, in the empty spaces that weren't there when she was around. That's when the realization begins small at first, then impossible to ignore. It starts with little things he didn't notice while she was present. The sound of her laughter, the way it could lift the weight off his shoulders, the way she remembered the smallest details about him that even he had forgotten, the calm confidence she carried, the quiet way she supported him without diminishing her own worth. These were not dramatic gestures, not attention-grabbing acts. They were the steady, grounding presence he took for granted. When she leaves, he's left with echoes of her influence on his life. Her absence is louder than any argument, any word she could have said. She didn't yell. She didn't beg. She didn't fight to be noticed. She simply stepped back with dignity, leaving the space she once filled wide open. At first, he tries to fill it with noise, with people, with temporary pleasures. But nothing fits the space she occupied. Nothing can replace the quiet understanding she brought into his life. A man misses someone deeply when he realizes that she wasn't just a part of his routine, she was a part of him. She made life easier without him noticing. She believed in his potential without making him feel pressured. She created a space where he could grow, be vulnerable, and still feel respected. Losing that is like losing the compass that guided him quietly through chaos. He may not have realized it at the time, but her absence exposes how much he leaned on her emotional steadiness. The quiet moments at night are the hardest. When the distractions fade and the world stops demanding attention, he feels it the most. He thinks of conversations that didn't seem important, but now echo in his mind with new meaning. He remembers moments when she encouraged him silently, when she forgave him quietly, when she loved him fully but without conditions. Those memories sting because they highlight the gap between who he was with her and who he is without her. Regret begins to grow, subtle and persistent. It isn't loud. It doesn't demand attention. It's a slow realization that he could have appreciated her more, loved her better, been present when it mattered most. He recognizes that her leaving wasn't about punishment, it was about self-respect, about choosing herself over someone who didn't fully recognize her value. That understanding brings tears, not of weakness, but of awareness. It is the kind of tears that shake a man's pride, make him face himself honestly for the first time. He starts to see that not everyone offers what she did. Not everyone provides calm when the world is chaotic. Not everyone believes in him when he doubts himself. Not everyone leaves with dignity instead of resentment. That uniqueness sinks in slowly. And with it comes the realization that her absence is permanent in ways he cannot replace. He grieves the stability, the peace, the unwavering support that she embodied. This is how a man truly cries missing someone, when he understands the depth of what he lost, not in material or superficial terms, but in emotional truth. He cries because she mattered in ways he can't replicate, and because her departure exposes what he failed to value while she was still present. It is a quiet, profound sorrow, one that leaves him humbled, reflective, and forever changed. A man doesn't always recognize what he's lost the moment it's gone. Most of the time, he goes about his day convinced that life will continue as usual, that he's capable of moving forward without missing a beat. He keeps busy, fills his schedule, distracts himself with work, friends, or trivial pleasures. He convinces himself that absence doesn't matter, that he's strong enough to endure it. But absence has a way of creeping into his soul quietly, almost invisibly, until one day it lands heavily on his chest and refuses to be ignored. He starts noticing things in ways he never did before. The way she listened when he spoke, really listened, without judgment or interruption. The way her presence could calm a storm in his mind. The way she believed in him when he doubted himself. These weren't grand gestures, not dramatic or loud, but they carried weight he didn't appreciate until she was no longer there. Men often fail to notice emotional labor while it is happening, taking it for granted because it feels ordinary. But ordinary, when lost, becomes extraordinary. It's the silence that hits him hardest. She didn't leave with anger or bitterness. She didn't argue endlessly or demand attention. She left quietly with dignity, and that quiet is louder than any fight could ever be. At first, he dismisses it, tells himself he's fine, that he doesn't need her, that freedom is preferable. But freedom without her is empty. He begins to realize that what he thought was independence was actually the absence of something essential. Her calm, steady energy, the way she made him feel understood and safe, is irreplaceable. He remembers the moments that didn't seem important at the time. The small gestures, the late night conversations, the way she encouraged him when he felt lost. He recalls the patience she had, the gentle corrections, the quiet support that never demanded repayment. And now each memory lands like a weight on his heart. He starts to replay his mistakes, the times he could have been better, the words he left unsaid, pride and ego, which once shielded him from acknowledging her value, begin to crumble under the weight of realization. Loneliness becomes sharper at night. Distractions fade, and his mind drifts to the moments that truly mattered. The absence of her laughter, her presence, and her understanding fills the room. He realizes he can't replace her. Not with someone new, not with temporary distractions. She was unique in ways he didn't see until she was gone. Her love was not possessive. It was freeing. Her care was not conditional. It was steadfast. And her departure, done with grace and self-respect, leaves him facing the stark truth of what he lost. Regret is slow, patient, and persistent. It doesn't storm in. It sits quietly, gnawing at his consciousness. He sees clearly that she wasn't gone because of lack of love. She was gone because she valued herself enough not to remain where she wasn't fully appreciated. That realization cuts deeper than anger ever could. It forces him to confront his shortcomings, his inattention, his failure to cherish what was right in front of him. This is how a man truly cries missing someone. It's not immediate or explosive. It's a quiet, steady ache that grows as understanding sets in. He cries for the peace she brought, the faith she had in him, patience she showed, and the love he failed to reciprocate fully. It's a humbling, transformative sorrow that leaves him changed. In her absence, he learns the depth of what she meant, the rarity of her presence, and the truth that some losses cannot be replaced or replicated. It is in this profound absence that he finally feels the weight of missing her. And in that feeling, he begins to understand what love truly is. A man doesn't usually recognize the full impact of losing someone until the quiet of his own mind forces him to confront it. During the day, he keeps moving, keeps busy, tells himself he's fine, that life goes on, that he's strong enough to manage without her. But strength isn't measured by distraction. It's measured by how fully you can face what you've lost when everything else falls away. And that's when the absence of someone meaningful begins to echo. He begins to notice the small, seemingly insignificant things he never appreciated while she was present. The way she would smile at him, not to manipulate or demand, but simply because she cared. The way her voice could calm him after a long day. The way she believed in him quietly, without making him feel obligated or pressured. The little gestures, the way she remembered details about his life. The way she understood him when no one else could. These were the invisible threads that held him steady, and now, with her gone, the threads have unraveled. What makes her absence unbearable is not just that she's gone, but how she left. Did he fight? Did he argue? Did he try to make him feel guilty? She walked away with grace and self-respect, leaving him to confront the consequences of his own choices. That quiet exit speaks louder than any confrontation could. At first, he pretends it doesn't matter. He distracts himself with work, with friends, with fleeting pleasures. He convinces himself that freedom is better than connection. But freedom without her presence feels hollow, incomplete. The nights are the hardest. When the world is silent and distractions are gone, memories rise up uninvited. He thinks about the times she encouraged him without needing to be asked, the times She listened without judgment. The time she forgave him quietly when he knew he deserved it. Each memory lands heavily on his heart, a reminder of what he failed to value while he had it. Pride and ego, which once shielded him from acknowledging her importance, begin to crumble under the weight of awareness. He begins to see the truth he avoided. Not every woman will offer what she did. Not every love is patient, steady, and unconditional. Not everyone believes in you when you doubt yourself. She was rare, and that rarity is now painfully obvious. He may have thought he had time, that she would always be there, that he could always do better later. But later never comes in the way he expected. And now he faces the permanent absence of someone who mattered more than he realized. Regret slowly builds. It's not dramatic or loud, but persistent. Sitting quietly in the corners of his mind, he realizes she didn't leave because she stopped loving him. She left because she respected herself enough to walk away when her value wasn't fully recognized. That truth cuts deeper than anger ever could. It forces him to confront his mistakes, his inattention, his failure to cherish the love he had in front of him. Missing her becomes an emotional reckoning. The tears that finally come are not signs of weakness. They are the manifestation of awareness, humility, and grief for the loss of something irreplaceable. He cries for the peace she brought, the patience she showed, the unwavering belief in him, the quiet strength she embodied. It is in her absence that he finally understands the magnitude of her impact on his life, the rarity of what he lost, and the lessons that only true absence can teach. That is how a man truly cries missing someone. It's not sudden, not forced, not performative. It is deep, quiet, reflective, and transformative. In losing her, he learns the depth of love, the power of presence, and the consequences of not valuing what he had when he had it. The realization lingers, changes him, and reminds him forever of what it means to miss someone who was more than just a companion, someone who was his peace, his support, and his heart.